Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Working with a disability can be a challenge, and that's why September has been named National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Here to tell us more, we welcome back motivational speaker and disability rights advocate, John Register. So good to see you always.
Hannah, great to see you as well. Thanks for having me back on your show.
Well, let's talk about this very special time of year and why this month is so important.
Yeah, this month is important because we get a chance to celebrate the contributions of people with disabilities and on our workforce, right? So it's also about the promotion and how we hire, retain, and promote people with disabilities in the workplace as well. So it comes into law, I guess, or the first one back in 1945, when we're looking at our World War II veterans and how we support them coming back to a healthy and active lifestyle. And really the big question is, can I still have a job? Can I still be employed? And so we really want to make a focus on Disability Employment Awareness Month.
And just kind of celebrating that we do have the ADA in place now, and that there was a time when people didn't have those resources or things on the books to protect them.
Absolutely right. And so in 1990, George H.W. Bush, he signs the ADA, the American Disabilities Act, into law. And so we've been, going on long since 1990 all the way till today. And we see the curb cutouts. We see telephones, you might be in the movie theater with something flashing. Well, that wasn't designed for you to kind of do a secret message to your friend. It was really designed for people who couldn't hear the phone ring. And we have text messages, right? So we can actually text because we can't hear the voice speak. So that's how those things came about. And that's really great because we see that evolve. Where it hasn't evolved, where the same numbers are, pretty much the same numbers are in the United States, is with employment. Those numbers were over 70% of people with disabilities were not employed. And so we're still at pretty much those same numbers. So the question I ask is why?
Right. And it seems like when you measure how much progress has been made, why is there so much left to do? And internationally too, I mean, you have the pleasure of traveling so much. Are there certain ways that the U.S. is ahead of the curve and things that we can learn from other countries? That's
a great question. And so there are ways that, the United States is ahead, in some areas that we are ahead, and some areas that we can actually learn from. I think within technology, we see to lead the way with, we have great companies here that are collaborating with each other in order to move the needle forward. But as I said, we have jobs that aren't there. So we still have a stigma problem around people with disabilities. If we think about it, most people say able-bodied, or they say have person with a disability. Or we try to use another word that doesn't really fit inside to try to make somebody appease. But are we able-bodied or are we temporarily able-bodied? Because at some point, if we live long enough, we're probably going to have a disability at some point in life. And that's what we begin to see around the world and how people show up, either positive or negatively, for people with disabilities.
Well, and as you know better than anybody, your life can change in the blink of an eye, and you have to face new challenges every day and figure out your new normal. And that wasn't something you planned on happening.
No. So, when my amputation happened, I was trying to make the Olympic team. I was trying to become an officer in the United States Army, and life changed with one wrong step. And those acquired disabilities, they happen all the time. And so I began questioning, my identity. Who am I now? And who put those identities in me? So I had to really think about that long and hard. And I was very fortunate. I was able to start working again for the United States Army as a worker inside of the Community and Family Support Center. But I saw the disparity, not only just nationally, but globally, for people who were trying to adhere to their own life, and they wanted to have a healthy and active lifestyle. So we look at maybe even the Paralympic Games, right? We see these athletes, they were on our global stage, and they have all these capabilities that we see. We see them just doing, the crossing the finish line. But at the end of the day, when they go back to their countries, do they have jobs? And they don't. Many do not go back home to an environment that actually sustains them the way we just sustained and elevated them in those Paralympic Games.
Well, and a lot of your work is working with corporations to make the case for more inclusivity, because it really benefits everybody when we all have a seat at the table. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. And so that's why I was back in Portland today, was to actually have this conversation of the business case for disabilities and hiring, retaining, and promoting of those individuals. And Accenture did a report back in 2018 and looked at two companies. We have Company A and Company B. Company A hires, retains, and promotes people with disabilities in the workplace. Company B does not. What they found was when you begin looking at those two companies, Company A actually outperforms Company B 2-to-1 to shareholder returns.
Wow.
So it caused the comptroller of New York State, Tom DiNapoli, to begin taking his trillions of dollars in pension funds and investing them in Company A and not Company B. And that caused a whole swell on Wall Street. So you have the Disability In has a disability equality index, and over 200 CEOs have signed on board to start investing in making their own companies the Company A's because they want to make revenue.
There you go.
And income, right? So, right.
Money talks. It's all
Money
important,
it's all
but
about the
money talks.
Money
yeah.
talks.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. It's always great to see you.
And it's wonderful to see you as well.
We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.